Started. Okay, great. So welcome everyone to our online classes for today. For today, we are going to focus on our lower body. Okay, so full lower body workout. So that will involve a lot on our thighs, back part of our thighs, and your butt muscle. So let's get started with some warm-ups first. We are going to do 16 rounds of warm-ups. Each warm-up will be 30 seconds, and we'll have 10 seconds in between for us to change into our position. Okay, so let's get the timer started and let's go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, first warm up, we are going to raise up our heels off the ground and we are going to walk up and down, okay? Without your heels touching the ground. Yes. Heels off the ground. Imagine that you're wearing a high heels. This will help us activate our calf muscle. Prepare our calf muscle for our workout for today. So for the workout for today, later you're going to prepare. Okay, so now bring your toes off the ground. So now your heels is only on the ground, okay? So next, we'll wait for 2 more seconds. Okay, toes off the ground. Okay, walk on your heels. So this is different from the toe up exercise because this will activate the front part of our calf muscle. Toes up, toes up. Make sure your toes is not on the ground. Walk around, 10 more seconds left. Two, one. Okay, so lie down on the ground. Next will be your glute bridge with side reach, okay? So lie down on the ground, feet on the ground, fold your legs. Then you're going to bridge up your hips, reach for your right, both hands touch your right hand side, down, reach out your hips again, reach for your left, and repeat, go back to your right. Hips up, both hands reach to your opposite side. Right hand and left side. Right side and left side, okay? So hips, remember to bridge your hips up. 2, 1. Okay, 10 seconds rest. Next will be your glute bridge hold, okay? So continue lying at this position. 2, 1. Bring your hips up, squeeze your butt. We are going to hold at this position for 30 seconds. Make sure to pull your butt hole up. So keep your hip up, squeeze your butt as tight as possible. Try not to bring your knees close together, okay? Push your knees further away apart from each other. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold your butt. Squeeze your butt muscle. Make sure that your butt muscle is working. 2, 1. Hips down, rest for a while. Maintain at this position. Next, we are going to do the hamstring walk. 2, 1. Hips up. Then now your toes is going to go up like this, and you're going to straighten your leg as far as possible and climb back. Remember, toes will not be intact on the ground. You're going to walk on the heels. This will work on your hamstring muscle. Hips up. Don't bring your hips down. Try to maintain your hips as high as possible. 2, 1. Okay, 10 seconds rest. Next will be your single leg glute bridge hold. Okay, so we are going to start by raising your right leg first. We are going to work on our left leg. Okay, hips up. Squeeze your left butt. So for the hanging leg, you can either rest like this. Come on, hips higher. Squeeze your butt. Squeeze your left butt. Almost there. More than halfway already. 2, 1. Okay, hips down. Next, rest for 10 seconds. Next, bring your right leg on the ground. Raise your left leg up. 2. Okay, hips up. Right leg on the ground. Squeeze your right butt. Squeeze high, hips high, up. Squeeze, continue squeezing. Almost there. I know your butt muscle is sore by now. 2, 1. Okay, 10 seconds rest. Okay, everyone stand up. We are going to do some ankle rocking. Okay, so for ankle rocking, you're going to bring your toes up, heels up, toes up, and heels up. Okay, it's like a rocking motion, toes up and heels up. Instead of like just now, we walk on our heels and toes. This one's different. You're going to alternate the movement. Toes up, heels up. Two, 1. Okay, 10 seconds rest, maintain standing. We'll go over this warm up again. We are going to start with our calf up walk. Okay, so 1, heels off the ground and walk. Imagine you're wearing a high heels. So trying to maintain as tall as possible. Okay. Seven more seconds. Okay, 10 seconds rest. Next will be your toes up walk. Okay, get prepared. 3 more seconds. 2, 1. Okay, toes up and walk on the heels. Try to bring your toes as high as possible, okay? Toes do not touch the ground during this movement. Ten more seconds. Let's go. Toes pointed to the ceiling as high as possible from the ground, away from the ground. 2, 1. Okay, rest. Let's start by lying down. We are going to go with our glute bridge with side reach, okay? Back on the ground. Okay, thrust your hips up, both hands reach to your right and reach to your left. Thrust your hip as high as possible, up before reaching to the side. 2, 1. Okay, good. Rest, maintain at this lying position. We're going to do our glute bridge hold. We're going to hold for 30 seconds. 2, 1. Okay, bring your hips up, squeeze your butt. Yes, squeeze it, doing good. So remember, when you're doing this movement, keep your hips down. Yes. Bring your hips as high to the ceiling as possible. Almost there. Few more seconds left. Okay, hips down. Next will be your hamstring walk. 2, 1. Okay, hips up. Toes off the ground. You're going to walk on your heels towards the front, extending your legs straight and bring it back. But don't forget to keep your hips high, okay? So keep track of your hips high. So when the hip is going down, hips high, continue climbing. 1, toes off the ground. Make sure that your toes is off the ground. Hips is high. 1. Okay, rest. Next will be your single leg glute bridge hold. You'll start by raising your right leg, okay? So we'll work on out your left hand side first. Okay, hips high. Squeeze your left butt. Your right leg can relax at the moment. Your right leg will be hanging in the air while your left leg is working hard. Squeeze, continue squeezing. You're almost there. Two, 1. Okay, rest. Right leg's on the ground. Raise your left leg up. Get ready to thrust up your hips to the ceiling. Okay, hips up to the ceiling. Right leg working, left leg resting this time. Almost there. Okay, great. Let's stand up. Let's do one last movement, the ankle rocking. Remember, heels off the ground, toes off the ground. Alternate this movement. So since don't forget to emphasize more on the toe raising up, okay? Toe raise up as high as possible before get back your toes on the ground. 10 more seconds. Two, one. Okay, great. You're all done with the warm-ups. Let's get through our movement for today. So for the first movement, I will brief through what are we doing for today first, okay? So we are going to do 8 movements for today, all involving your lower body. We'll start by our heels up squat. So for the heels up squat, so you are going to be squatting tiptoe. So tiptoe, like this. Then you are going to keep your core tight. You're going to squat down with your heels up. Push your knees aside, elbows in between, and stand back straight up while maintaining your heels off the ground. So you are going to do this movement until you cannot maintain your heels off the ground, and you're going to continue with the normal squat because we are doing this movement for the 1 whole minute. So second movement is going to be the lateral lunges. For the lateral lunges, open your feet as wide as possible, toes pointed to the front. We are going to switch. Push your weight to your left, hips back, push your hips back until your both of your hands is in between your one of your feet. Stand back straight up to the original position and push to the opposite side, or maintaining your legs straight. Hips up, kick back, and move to the opposite side. Okay, so I want you to emphasize more on hips back. So we want to make it a hip dominant movement instead of a knee dominant movement. So next movement, the third movement will be the elevated glute bridge. You're going to be putting your feet on the elevated surface. So get ready, get near to an elevated surface. So get prepared of your chair. So heels on your chair. You're going to thrust your hip up to the ceiling. Like this, thrust the hip up to the ceiling. And we are done. When we are done with this, we'll go for our single leg. Okay, so raise your right leg first, thrust up until the time is over. Change leg, up until the time is over. And we'll move to the next movement. The next movement will be the hamstring walk. So we are going to do the hamstring walk again. So feet off the ground, lie down on the ground, bring your hips high, toes off the ground. You're going to climb till your leg is straight and climb it back. So while you're doing this movement, your hips is not touching the ground at all. When you're finished with this, one last movement will be the aeroplane. So for the aeroplane, you're going to open up your hands like an aeroplane wing. So you're going to bring your one of your leg behind and back in front. So from the side view, slightly bend your knees first, back and up, back and up. So when you're done, we are going to move to the opposite side. Same thing. So they're sure that one of your leg will be weaker, okay? So try to put more focus on your weaker leg. That is. Okay, so 8 movement. Each movement will be 1 minute. Okay, so get your chairs ready because we are going to do the elevated surface later. And let's get started. You can do for the elevated surface, you can do it on your sofa or chair or whichever elevated surface that you feel is convenient and comfortable. So let's get started with the workout. Let me start the timer. 8 movements. So we won't be having any rest in between. So 1 minute for each movement. Let's start with our heel up squat. 3, 2, 1. Raise your heels off the ground. Let's squat with your heels up. This will emphasize more on our front thigh and your ankle stabilization. So keep yourself balanced first without squatting. So if you feel that your ankle is tired, you can reset, heels down, heels back up again. Yes, try to keep yourself stable. Keep your chest up. Keep looking at me. Yes, chest facing to the camera. You're almost there. 20 more seconds. Keep your heels off the ground. Let's go. We've got 10 more seconds. Heels off the ground. 3, 2, 1. Okay, time for lateral lunges. Open your feet as wide as possible. Toes pointed to the front. Let's push your hips behind. Let's go to your right side first. Push your hips behind till your both hands can be in between your right leg. Push yourself back up to the center. And now push your hips to your left hand side. Both hands in the middle of your leg and thrust back straight up. Hips behind. Kick back. Hips back and straight up. Okay, focus on pushing your hips behind and stand back straight up. Remember, side, hips back, center, and go to your opposite side. Almost there. Okay, get ready for your elevated glute bridge. Elevated your feet and thrust your hips up. So only your heels will be in contact with the ground. Push your hips up to the ceiling and back down. Squeeze your butt. Don't forget, when you're thrusting your hips up the ceiling, squeeze your butt as hard as possible before you drop your hips back to the ground. Almost there, a few more seconds left. Come on, toes pointing up. Thrust your hip up to the ceiling. Squeeze it for at least 1 second before you let your hips down. Two, one. Okay, single leg glute bridge. Raise your right leg off your elevated surface, and you're going to thrust with your left leg. Okay, so left leg on the surface. Bring your hips up as high as possible and back down. Single leg elevated glute bridge. Squeeze your butt and back down. Focus on thrusting the left side of your hips to the ceiling instead of kicking up with your right leg. Almost there. We're almost done. Two, one, last rep, and change legs. Right leg on your bench, on your elevated surface, and thrust your right hip to the ceiling while your left leg is floating, resting. Remember, squeeze at least 1 second at the top before you drop your hips back to the down. Remember, squeeze 1 second and down. So up again. Squeeze for 1 second before dropping your hips down. So next will be your hamstring walk. Okay, so next you are going to place your heels on the ground instead of the elevated surface. You're almost there. Let's try to push it through the soreness. Okay, place your heels on the ground. We are going to do the hamstring walk. Both bring your hips up, toes off the ground, and you're going to straighten your leg while your hips is not touching the ground. Try to straighten your leg as far as possible or as far as you can. So when you're coming back, bring your hips high again. Reset your hips and cross slowly. Straighten your leg. Hips high. Slowly march it back and reset. Hips high again and slowly. Okay, so next we are going to be standing on your feet. We'll start by balancing your right leg first. Almost there. Come on. If you're tired, just hold your hips up at the starting position. 2, 1. Okay, hips down. Let's stand up. Right leg on the ground. Push your left leg to the back. Stretching your hamstring, right hamstring. Balance both hands like an aeroplane and stand back straight up. Maintain your balance before you drop back to your aeroplane. So this movement, I want you to focus on pushing your hip backwards instead of kicking with your floating leg. Okay, let's go. We got 25 more seconds. Fly, hips back, and stand back straight up. Great. Yeah, slowly drop your hip backwards, stretching your right hamstring, and stand back straight up. Make sure tighten your core. Stay balanced. There's no need to dive very fast, okay? So try to relax, stretch the hamstring. 3 more seconds left. 2, 1. Okay, so let's change. Left leg on the ground, bring your right leg up, fly, balance, and stand back straight up. Push your left hip behind, and stand back straight up. Keep your left leg slightly bent, okay? Balance, and back up. Let's go. Good. Yes, trying to maintain your balance. Go slow if you are losing balance. So one thing that can help with your balance, you can clench your fists. Clench your fists, will make you easier. Will make this movement a bit easier. Clench your fists. 10 more seconds left. Let's go. A few more reps to go. 3 more reps. 1, 2, and one last one. And 3. Stay there for a while. And stand back straight up. We are done with the first round. Let's get a 30 seconds break and we'll come back with the second round. Great. Okay, great. Let's get started with our second round. I think everyone is rested enough. So 8 rounds of 1 minute, and let's get started with the heels up squat. 2, 1, heels off the ground. Push your knees to the side, squat down, and stand back straight up. Yes. If you think you need to rebalance before you squat. Try to make yourself balanced first, okay? Keep yourself balanced before squatting back down. Yes, we stabilize and squat. So try to go slow on this movement. 20 more seconds, rebalancing. Let's go. Heels off, heels off. Squeeze your butt to stand up. Ooh, shit. 10 more seconds. Let's get one more rep in. Try to go as slow as possible. And up slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And great. So next will be your lateral lunges. Open your feet as wide as possible. Toes pointed forward. Push your hip behind to your right side. Hands in between. And stand back up to the center. Change to your left side. And stand back up to the center. Hip flat. And up. So when you're pushing behind, so make sure that you keep your chest high, up. So keep looking to the front, push your hips back. We got 15 more seconds. Let's go. 4 more repetition. 1, 2, 3, and one last one. 4. Okay, great. 1. Okay, so lie down on your back. Let's get going with our elevated glute bridge. Heels on your elevated surface. Thrust your hip up to the ceiling and back down. Okay. Try to thrust your hips. Squeeze for at least 1 second at the top before bringing it back down. Great, let's go. So make sure that your lower back is touching the ground before thrusting your hips up. So there's no rush in this movement. Let's focus on quality movement instead of quantity. Squeeze and down. So when you're doing this movement, try to bring your knees further away, okay? So don't bring your knees near. Almost there. 2. Okay, bring your left leg off your elevated surface. Thrust up with your right leg only. Squeeze for at least 1 second before dropping your hip down. Left leg will be relaxing. So let's push it through. I know everyone is feeling the soreness at your butt, but let's keep going until the time is over. Lowering down slowly. Feel the burn, lowering down a bit slow. And down. Few more seconds left. Take 2 seconds to lower it down. Go up. 2, 1. Okay, change leg. Left leg on your elevated surface, right leg up. Thrust your left hip up to the ceiling and back down. Slow. 2 seconds down. 1 second hold at the top and 2 seconds down. Remember, quality over quantity. Squeeze it as hard as possible before letting it down. Slow, remember. Count in your mind, 1001, 1002, at least 2 seconds before your hip drop on your workout mat. 2, 1. Okay, so switch on your back. Next will be a hamstring walk. Hips up, toes up, and straighten your leg as far as you can. and bring it back up. Reset, bring your hips up before straightening your leg again. This will work on your hamstring. Climb it back, up again, reset. Every time you bring your heels close to your body, reset, okay? Bring your hips up again. You're almost done, a few more seconds left. Up, hips up. Straighten your leg, toes off the ground. So make sure that your butt is not nipping on the ground. If you're too tired, just hold at this position. You'll still be working the muscle. 1. Okay, on your feet, we'll be doing aeroplane. Right leg on the ground first. Let's go fly. Push your hips behind, right hips behind, and stand back straight up. So if you're losing balance, try to clench your fists. Maintain your balance. Your hips will be facing down when you're bowing down. So when you're doing this movement, imagine that you're bowing down like this with standing on one leg. Almost there, 20 more seconds. Stretch your right hamstring. Clench your fists if it's too hard. Oh, yes, good. Keep your chest up. So don't round your low back when you're doing this. So keep your low back straight up like this. 2, 1. Okay, so let's change side. Left leg on the ground, right leg off the ground. Almost there. This will be a very posterior chain exercise for today. Posterior chain means it will be working the back part of your leg a bit more than the front part for today. 30 more seconds, we are halfway there. Maintain your balance. Hold it for 1 second before standing back straight up. Great, good job, doing good. Yes, make sure that your hips is facing to the ground before you stand back straight up. Last 10 seconds, let's get 3 more reps in. 1, 2, 1 last one. Slow it down, 2. Okay, great job. That is all for today's workout. Whew. Hope you all enjoy this lower body workout, which we work more on our posterior chain, which is the back part of your leg. Hope you have a nice weekend, and I'll see you next time, okay? So bye everyone. Have a good weekend.